All right, everybody. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here. Tropical update for, well, what's today? The 24th of July. It's been a while, guys, since I've done this. Things have been really quiet and still quiet right now. However, we have a couple tropical waves that we want to talk about. Well, actually, two or three, but really one that we have to watch, I think, over the next week, week and a half. So, no immediate threats out there, but it has been a quiet period, and it does look like to me that quiet period is going to start to come to an end here in about a week or so. So let's get started. Here we are now with the current view. And really what I'm watching, you've got a wave here, you've got one here, and then this one just came off of Africa. And this is the one that we have to watch for doing something like this by a week from Saturday in this area. So that's a long time to cover that ground, right? As far as the Hurricane Center goes right now, they've got what we love to see. No tropical development expected the next 7 days. Love that. But we'll have to watch that. Now, one of the reasons why is we've had a lot of dust. You watch on 10 Tampa Bay. I've been talking about that. It's kind of tougher to see, but this pink purple area, actually, that's a bunch of dust. There's some dust over here back on this side, actually a little bit in between. We've had some dust over top of us, but it's actually started to thin out just a little bit. But as long as you have that in this area here, it really tends to dry out the atmosphere, and it makes it tougher for these storms to form. This way is starting to get a little bit further to the north. Again, but no development is expected. Now, let's start with the GFS model. Okay, I want to show you this first. And I'm going to go out to this Saturday. So you got your waves out here, nothing going on. And then now let's go out to next Saturday, which is, by the way, it is the 3rd of August, right there. So what I'm keeping an eye on is this area right here. Again, this is the GFS model. You see all that moisture right there? The GFS doesn't really do anything, but that's the wave that just came off of Africa right now. That wave is sitting here right now. All right, now keep your eye on that area here. And I'm going to go forward. You can see it. It's weak. It just goes west. That's the rule. Weaker, western. Weaker, more western, however you want to say it. And this big ridge of high pressure is dominating. This one right here, you see that big high, and things are just going up and around and underneath. Just something like this, right? That helps storm just come up and go like that, if anything. Okay, that's the GFS. Now, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the European. Look at that, right? Let me back up here. This is where we are now, and you see the wave on the right-hand side of your screen there. Now, watch as we go through this Saturday. It's kind of sitting out here in the middle Atlantic. And then we go out to next Saturday. And look what we got right there, right? So let's go down here. You can see a little bit closer. Look at that. It's got this low developing come out through the Turks and Caicos in the southern Bahamas. Now, this is a week and a half out. That is a long time in weather forecasting. So does this happen? Almost more likely that it doesn't than it does. But there is a chance, but this is not a forecast. This is just a long-range model. So what we tend to do, instead of showing you that one run, let me show you what we call ensembles. And that means the European model, in this particular case, run multiple times with some small tweaks, and you can see what multiple runs are looking at. Look at this area right in here. You see all those little red L's? Each one of those is where the forecast model thinks the center of that particular wave might be. And you see it's real spread out. I mean, all the way down the Central Caribbean, all the way up to one over Miami at this point, right? That doesn't even mean they're strong. If I show you this way, that kind of shows you the pressure, right? And look at all those different lows. That will not happen. But this is just giving you an idea that, hey, look, this area has to be watched from the Windward Islands all the way up through the Bahamas, even towards Florida as we get into the first week of August. So we're a week and a half out, plenty of time. But there's more to the story because this is also another way of looking at it. This is the European model. You can see all the different lows. This is the ensemble version of it. And they all track off towards the north and the west. But also, look at this. This is the GFS. And it just doesn't see anything. And this is likely as well. I think the chances are actually better that something weak at least tries to push through this area. But again, it's so far out in time. The European model, of course, is going to show it. You see this area right in here. This is the chance of tropical depression developing in that area through the 3rd of August. right? So it's obviously going to show you that because of the fact that it just showed you all that's coming through. Now, again, way far out in time, so we're not really forecasting this, but I did want to point out one of the reasons why. This is what's called the Madden-Julian oscillation, the MJO, and this basically shows you sinking air and rising air across the globe. The brown, the yellows there, that's sinking air. And when you have sinking air, you don't make storms, right? Because they fall apart. But when you have rising air, the storms are growing up, right? So look where we are right now. All that brown, okay? That's the area that we're watching. All that brown. Now, this goes out through the 28th or 29th of July. Kind of tough to see there, I know. But look what starts happening here. See a little bit of green in the Western Caribbean? And now look, you've got green in the Caribbean, halfway across the Atlantic. Now, look at this. This is the 13th of August. You've got all, I'm talking this area right in here, right? You've got all this green all the way out there. And so then you get out to the 18th of August, and the tropical Atlantic is open for business. I think it starts the first week of August, and that's why I'm showing you what the European model is showing. And bottom line just basically says, time to start paying attention. Let's see what happens over the next week with that first wave. But all of this area right in here, let me go ahead and do this again. This goes out through, you get down here, you have a little less lift, but that's the 2nd of September. So literally, this is all of, well, let me go up a little bit more. That is basically all of August right there. And most of it in this area that we're concerned about is in the green. See all that? That would tell you that it's probably going to be an active August coming up. Water temperatures, yeah, you bet. They are above average. This is one of the reasons why the forecasts for this season were so high, because you've got all of this energy. Warm water is stored energy, okay? And when it gets out over there, it can grab this energy and get stronger. So that's one of the reasons why the forecast numbers, right, number of storms was so high. And then the other one I wanted to show you here is El Nino, La Nina. This line in the middle, I'm going to draw right down here, that is neutral. Anything in this area, basically 0.5 is and up is El Nino, and then 0.5 and below is La Nina. We're getting there, right? You see the trend here? That means La Nina is coming on. That has been the forecast. And that's why probably going to be a busy season numbers-wise. So that's it, guys. There's really, again, nothing out there to worry about right now. We're going to start watching it not for this weekend, but perhaps for the next weekend. So that's a long ways out in time. But if you've got plans, if you've got things you want to get ready around the house, your hurricane kit, stuff like that, look, it's coming up on August. Statistically, 90-some%, usually it's around 93, 95% of our activity, tropical activity in the Atlantic hurricane basin happens from August 1st on through like the end of September and the parts of October, right? So we got most of the tropical season ahead of us. We've got 3 named storms out of the way so far, but that's only the tip of the iceberg, I think, at this point. All right, guys, don't forget to like and follow all my stuff so you'll get all these updates.